Every time this year we start to grade the horses, talk about the horses, Amy is dead against it. She does not like to grade the horses. And I told her, everybody's big boys and big girls. I'm going to move up here in front of the store so I can see. So what happened was, in a showing of my selflessness, not my humility, but my selflessness, I ordered everybody's drinks and food except my own. So I had to reorder. And when I reordered, it became obvious that the Starbucks here is loaded with people. And now we have 16 minutes to wait for my drink. But that's okay, because we have 2 or 3 videos to make. I can make them right here. You know, what's better than doing my videos in front of a Starbucks? Look, you guys can see in the Starbucks. It is full. In COVID, those people would not be allowed in. There's too many people in there. So we're going to, I'm going to grade some of the horses. I think, now see the face she made? She doesn't like doing it because this is, so Amy, God love her, she thinks that we're going to say something offensive and you guys are going to get disappointed.
I just don't think that there's been enough information.
Well, hold on. There's a big meaty order of the horses that are doing their work as best they can, that are improving, but there are some that are doing it great right off the hop.
Yeah, but it's not like Frolic. She's fine, but she's not doing anything right now.
Oh, she is now. She's back going now. She was doing things great before she did. So a horse like, that's a great example. So a horse like Frolic, I would give an A- to, because she had OCDs out. She was doing things great before that, but she is not. You have to be, like I'm going to say it right now. Cirrus would be an A+, because he does everything right, and he's doing his work well right now. There's nothing wrong with having a D right now. Some of these horses have to grow up and have to learn, but along the way, it's nice to see the progression and hear the progression about your horse.
We can do that without giving them a grade.
Well, so the floor is yours. Why don't you want to grade them?
Because I don't have information. I've never
That's
even
fair.
jogged holding pattern. I've gone with Gypsy Boy one time on like a Monday.
Okay, so we can
not,
talk. So we can talk that out. Some of these horses.
It's different if we just did a training video and I can go back and look and be like, okay.
I'm not going to win this argument. I feel me losing this argument. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're just going to talk about the horses. We're going to talk about their high points.
I'll grade them after the next video that we do.
Okay, I'm going to hold her to it. So we are not going to grade your horses today. Amy has won that argument. You're happy with yourself? But we are going to talk about the horses. So Atomics Hanover, I think the horse does his work great. And I'll tell everybody when I've trained them, what I've done with them. So any of the horses that I've wanted to see what they're doing, or maybe what they're not doing right, or exactly where they're at in their training, how strong are they, how quick are they, do they exhibit the things that I want to see, I'll talk about those. Atomics Hanover was one of my favorite horses from Harrisburg. I know he was making breaks and acting up, and I went with him the other day. Hit him a little swat in the rump when we turned over to go a mile. And horsemen will know this. It's not, the reason we don't train horses by themselves is because they don't learn anything. But when we always train horses in groups, and then you go by themselves, it gives you a very clear picture of how focused they are on their work. Studs a little bit less, cranky horses, it takes time. But when you train them by themselves, you get a true understanding right away. Once in a while, you get a true understanding right away of who is focused and understanding of their work. And when I trained Atomics Hanover, he was all business. 252, I went with him, and he was very, very good. Have you gone with Atomics yet?
I've just jogged him. Right?
Just jogged him, yeah. He's a nice horse. I like him a lot. Barcelona Mickey, bad luck bugger. He got castrated, and it got swollen up underneath, and it was really interfering with his gait. He looked really stiff behind, and then he knuckled over the other day and sliced his pastern. Now, it's not a big deal. It was all cosmetic on the front of his bone. It'd be like me literally putting a cut on the front of my shin. You stitch it up, right? We had to put 2 or 3 stitches in it.
Not really. It'd be like your wrist because he has to bend.
No, he doesn't bend that. It's this part right here. So some of the skin
below the joint.
Oh yeah, it was well below. It was like right. It was in the weirdest place. You'd never think a horse would cut themselves there, because what he did, he knuckled over, and when he did, he came back and sliced his pastern open. Anyway, it wasn't deep, but it did need stitched. We gave him the rest of the holiday season off, and he'll be back on Monday. But I like this horse because he was so shiny and looked good when he first went on the track. And then he got a little cranky, and we castrated him. But he was like on the low end of needing castrated. I think we had a spot open up to castrate a horse that day. And we said, well, we can do Barcelona Mickey. And I think we did him, and he ended up getting a little bit of swelling and infection in there. So I think there's a lot of more room forward. I want to see the Barcelona Mickey come back that was there before. And there's no reason they can't. And the pastern thing is nothing. It'll be fine by Monday, as I said. Now, Belladale. I don't know your feelings on Belladale. How are your
I don't dislike her. I just didn't get over.
Did you only go there that one
Yeah.
time? Oh, that's unfair. Belladale is probably the fastest horse right now in our barn, at least on the pacing side. She is really quick, turns her foot really fast, but she is a little soft on that splint right front, and I do think there is something that bothers her a little bit left hind. Now we'll get to x-raying her just to make sure everything is on the up and up. We'll put a couple of good paintings onto that splint, and I suspect what we generally do is somewhere around, we'll get a cold snap in February or a soft snap the start of March, where you really can't get on the track that well. It might be like minus 20 Celsius for about 3 or 4 or 5, 6 days. And at that point, we generally try to leave the horses go easy. And when we do, that's when we look to crowd splints, crowd curbs, give them all that time to set up and relax. And we'll get to that at some point with Belladale. But when you ask her to go forward right now, she's all business. And you can just look on the videos I made with the glasses. You can see her. She's sprinting along with the other filly alongside of her. Her ears are just up. They're just up, twitching along. She's gone. She's just a really, really nice filly. Have you got a chance to go with Boyano yet?
Not training,
just jogging.
Yeah.
I trained him in 254, and the reason was I've been talking about him because a number of our European clients have bought into this horse, and I had made reference a couple of times to him, and then somebody had messaged me and said, I don't see the breeding that the Europeans do on this horse, and he looks like a smaller horse. He looks like he's back in his knees. Well, first off, you're looking at videos, the horse is not back in his knees. And the idea that horses are back on their knees to begin with is really frustrating, because you could have 5 very, very sharp trainers look at any given horse, and you might get 5 different answers of what their physical attributes are, both negative and positive. Horses that are back on their knees, to me, if they have long pastureage, you have to give them a little bit more, because they all look like they're back on their knees when they have really long pastureage up front. Again, are they stood up? Are their angles stood up front? That's going to have them looking like they're back on their knees. For most horses, a lot of them that are very straight up and down will look a little bit back on their knees. But I can tell you right now, Boyano is not back on his knees at all. The horse doesn't get on the line, doesn't get on a shaft, and he absolutely can trot. Now, is he the fastest trotter in our barn right now? No. But he is plenty fast. I went a mile and 254 of them again by himself. I liked what I saw in him. Every time I called on him, he picked up speed. Actually, I had the glasses on. I might have trained him with one other horse. I had the glasses on him, and he was extremely strong finishing up his mile. And again, I wanted to push him when he got tired, because I wanted to see what he was going to do. And every time I called on him, you could tell he did every ounce of the work he could at that particular moment. So, yes, he's a Calgary Games, which I don't know much about. And yes, he's Kentucky only. But you know what? He's a good-looking horse. This will likely be the first year that we race into some of the Kentucky fairs at the start of the season also, and you might see a horse like Boyano show up there. That's not a bad thing. They go for good money in those Kentucky fairs. So Boyano, you haven't gone with him yet? I have. Just jogged him. I trained him a couple of times. I really liked the horse. I would say he would be in our top 5 or 10 trotters for sure right now, would be Boyano. I'll talk about the Ontario horses. Take it with a grain of salt. I have not gone at all with Caveman Pioneer yet. I heard Johnny said that he trained good yesterday. This is Johnny and James and Jason and Dominic that are going with these horses. They've been happy with everybody. If there's only a couple of negative parts when it comes to James, but James won't push them the same way we push them right away. He'll wait and wait and wait, and he will. He'll get to pushing them. James is super conservative on the track, but James also, the only way he ever trained horses was with me. Now, he has developed his own way of training horses from people he drove for, or from seeing how horses are. But at the end of the day, the same work ethic and the same athleticism that is expected from the babies is expected from James. So he has been happy with every single horse that he has in Ontario. If anything, the only one he said anything was the Highland filly's kind of docile when she's going. But considering her brother was a lunatic and her mother was plenty hot, I don't think that's a bad thing. So Caveman Pioneer... again, this is mostly towards Haley, but James has been very, very happy, and I know Johnny said he went very good yesterday.
Is that the horse Sean said Addie could take care of in the barn?
Yes, said he's slick gated, and he's also the horse. He threw his head once and dislocated Cindy's shoulder in the barn at the start of the season, but Sean takes care of him now and says he literally said Addie could take care of Caveman Pioneer. So he's very polite in the barn and does his work very well now. Chips Ahoy Hanover.
I haven't jogged him.
Beautiful horse. I trained him in same thing, around 254, 255. If anything, he seems a little weaker on one side of his rump than the other. I'm not really sure why. Joe had said that he has a chiropractor, and we don't use a lot of chiropractors, but there's 3 horses in this barn right now and 2 race horses that I actually would consider using a chiropractor. I'm going to get loads of emails now from people saying, I use chiropractors, they're fantastic. I get it, but when it comes to...
cheap.
I don't mind the cheapness. I don't think anybody's going to complain, but Chips Ahoy Hanover, I think if there is something to correct there and help him as he matures and grows up, then I think it's probably worth our time. But that's nothing, that has no bearing on what he does right now. His work right now is fantastic. He does his work well, he accelerates well. I've been happy and continue to be happy with Chips Ahoy Hanover. We'll talk about Cirrus, and you will talk about Cirrus, because actually I only went with Cirrus a couple of times. Amy's gone with Cirrus the most, more than anybody, and you can tell them about Cirrus.
In what way?
In every way.
I don't know.
Actually, I'm going to go get my drink while you talk about Cirrus. Yep, you're going to talk about Cirrus and cover my short because you go with them the most. I'll be back.
No, but I can't do a video without you interrupting. Like, I can't continue. Just wait. Because you like to cut me off, and then I don't have to continue thinking of things to say.
You're going to have to do it. I'm not cutting you off. Way you go.
Yeah, you will.
Nope. Chips. Cirrus. Go.
And actually, I think it's...
Cyrus?
No,
Cirrus?
it's not Cyrus.
It's Cirrus.
So, Ollie and I, this has nothing to do with him. But Ollie looked it up, and it had something to do with clouds.
Yes.
And I remember that his mother's name is Chasing Clouds Away.
Yes.
Anyway, if anyone wanted to know what Cirrus
Yes.
meant, it has something to do with clouds.
Okay. Well, that is...
Anyways.
there's a Cirrus Rumba or something. Is that what is it? Rhombus? Something?
I have no idea. But it has to do with clouds, and the mother's name has clouds in it.
Okay, so tell us about the horse, not the clouds.
He's just one of those ones that you just threw the bridle and the harness on. He never did anything wrong. You just already knew. It's like he came pre-broke.
He's been a nice horse.
He knows when you're going with other horses. He sees, he follows, he moves. He knows when you move to accelerate. You don't have to ask him to do anything. He's like a car. Yeah. And he's very quiet, which I'd like to keep him that way. Tactical.
Well, I don't know why you're looking at me when you say that.
Well, I already banned you. You're only allowed to go with Cover My Shore once a month, so...
Once a month. I'm only allowed to go once a month. Yeah. Okay, so you can tell it. So Cirrus has been doing his work well.
Did you ever tell the story about what happened to me the day that I jogged him? And I survived?
No.
Cover My Short. Actually, he was struggling the other day on that track. He knuckled over so many times. It was really deep and
shod,
sticky.
I think, yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be a disaster. But he made it until the head of the lane before, and he knuckled over real bad and made a break. Well, the video was there, but
yeah.
But he tried really hard not to.
Well, he's a nice colt. I mean, I trained this colt way back before anybody had really even trained, and I trained him in 258, which I almost didn't tell you I trained him because it was so early that it just there was no need for it. But he was trotting so good, I just let him roll along. And actually, I put him in a place a couple of times in the middle of turns where I kind of dared him to make a break, and he wouldn't.
He's very,
very sure-footed horse. So I think when it comes to the...
flat-footed, it's not flat.
Sure-footed. When it comes to him knuckling over, I think their stifles get a little bit weak.
Well,
These are the types of horses that we always keep the Baycocks to. You guys see it on the bills all the time.
The other horse did it, too, a lot.
Who?
The other green shoe.
Who?
What's his name?
Oh, Globetrotters?
Yes.
Oh, Travel Blog. Yeah,
yes.
They both do. It is indicative and of the breed. We had a lot of green shoes that knuckled over, but paint their stifles, keep them done up, keep their toes shortened up behind, and again, the Baycocks, I don't know if it helps, but it would be one of the signs of mild EPM. So that's I always feel so stupid saying that because horsemen use EPM and now vets do too. Like it's the flu, right? Oh, that's one of the signs of EPM. It's one of the signs of a million things. Yeah. Oh, I got a headache. Oh, that's one of the signs of. It
was definitely their babies, and also
the track was not great.
Very bad.
The track was not great, but he probably needed to be shod, or maybe he didn't have cork on. He might have slipped and knuckled over. But at the same time, there are some horses. We quietly have a list of horses that we bite Baycocks all the time, just from day one. It's it's not inexpensive, but it's not wildly expensive, and it's very expensive to get them checked and see if they are. So that's why we do with a lot of them, and Cover My Short will likely be one of them. So Cirrus won't. He's been good. Cover My Short has been fantastic. You know, the one thing you want to... Yeah, I know. The one thing you want to watch is the muscle tone over their rump, right? That is a sign of EPM issues. So you want to see a good-looking horse from their shoulder, the withers, right back through their tail. And, you know, it seems like the horses that are considered those EPM horses, it's incredibly hard to put muscle tone on them over their butt. So again, this is the time of year where they will be starting to put muscle on. Much later on, they'll put a lot on, but they will start to put it on now. We don't want to see them falling behind. So any of those horses, we'll just go ahead and start them on mild doses of generic Baycocks. So Dame Hanover's been another one that can absolutely fly. You might remember her mother. This is why I bought her. Her mother, Dornello, hasn't thrown a whole lot, but Dornello was a very good horse. You would have been working for Hennessy. Trevor Ritchie drove that filly. She was a very, very good, very, very good mare, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to speak out of terms, but I'm not positive. She might have been the 2-year-old trot filly of the year that year in Ontario. Very, very good horse. And Dame Hanover just does her work very well too. I've trained her as fast as any of the trotters there. There doesn't seem to be an issue with speed or stamina or anything like that. She's just a really, really nice horse. Deadline, you've gone with a little bit?
Yeah.
I've gone with him when I put him in gear. I just didn't want to make him cranky, so I trained him hard the one day. He trained great. We've since castrated him. He kicked and cut his leg on this stupid place on the inside of his hind leg, but it's healing up nicely now, and he's been training.
Very good gaited, free-legged.
Snappy, a really, really good gaited colt, and his attitude is very good also. I've been happy with him. This is I believe it'll be the half sister to the one that beat Perfect Thought, right? That's where we got him from. Deadline.
Yes. Yeah. He's a lot quieter.
BG's something.
Yeah. BG's
perfect BG, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Be Perfect BG. Yeah, that was his name. So this is the half brother to Be Perfect BG. Downbythecowboy. You know, this guy has been frustrating to me. Well, you're gonna make it back to talk about Dublin's Ferrani.
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
You've gone with her though, and it would be nice to talk about how much she's improved, right? There you go. There's 3 things of mini pancakes. They're fantastic, by the way.
3 packages.
3 little things of mini pancakes and my drink. It should be in a takeaway. It should be in like a beaker thing. So yeah, Deadline was. We'll talk about Deadline for another couple of seconds. Really impressed with his gait and his stamina and the way he moves. Again, when it comes to the pacers, there's just such a thin line. They got to go so fast, and they got to want to go faster, it seems like. And there's no way to know this time of year. All I know is Deadline is doing his work well. Now, Downbythecowboy, bit of a cranky bugger. Now, we castrated him. He was a little thin looking also. We took an OCD out of his left hind ankle, and we turned him out for 3 weeks. I had said, you know what, I just want this horse to come back in with some weight on. That's what I want to see. So I'd messaged Tom. I'm going to message him again and say, hey, you're going to have to let me know after a week if this guy's putting weight on it, he's eating really well, because I don't want him to come back in. And at the same size he is now is not acceptable. I need him to put weight on. He's not skinny, but I want him to put weight on, look a little healthier, a little bigger. And then I believe at that point, when we get that done, you'll see his attitude come forward. Again, I'm not super concerned about him right now, but he needs to do his work a little bit better. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You got to remember, I might say, oh, the OCD is not a big deal. Some horses, it is a big deal. Some horses, they are in a place and they are in a spot where that does really, really bother them. So it's not always no big deal. Sometimes it is. And I can't begin to say this was bothering me. I didn't see lameness from this horse. He did knuckle over quite a bit, and he did get over on the right shaft a little bit. So there was some signs that there was something there. So maybe we'll just leave him alone, let him grow up a little bit, and then we'll bring him back in. Say the end of January, we'll have Downbythecowboy back in. Dublin's Ferrani, the reason I want to talk to Amy, when we broke Dublin's Ferrani, she made breaks and make breaks and make breaks and just was rude. She actually kicked the other day on the track. She's got a snarly little attitude, but I love this filly. I guess I should explain myself. You talk a horse that's a little rude and ignorant, that's fine, but the fillies can have a little edge on them. Tactical Mounds, she could be snarly at 2 as a yearling, as a 2-year-old also. Well, you guys saw the other filly trained down now. Those were both tactical landings, now that I say it. Jailbird Jog, she had quite the attitude last year too. So there's nothing wrong with having a little fire in your belly, so to speak. Dublin's Ferrani was making breaks, was getting into gear, and I trained her hard for an entire week. Worked her and worked her and worked her. We x-rayed her. There was nothing wrong. We kept working and working and working and working with her. And then finally Justin went with her on open house day, and she just looked like a different horse. And even Amy had said after, she goes, where the hell did that come from? And I said, well, if you got the right attitude, they'll come forward. They'll come forward for you. And this filly most definitely came forward. She looked very, very good in her training mile and open house day, and has looked very good since. Now Daryl went with the other day. She did open fire on the track, but I've never seen her do any of that before. But I do like that edge that she has.
She made it for you because she said it was sitting there for a while.
Oh really? Oh, that's very kind of her. Where are we at here? Xkie has been good. She was acting up and running out the door, and her and I had a heart-to-heart the other day about that. And I've gone with her the last 2 or 3 times. Her training mile was very good the other day, and this is with an open, happy bridle on. You never, ever train babies with open, happy bridles on. And she does. She can go in a closed or an open. The open was more just to let her relax going out the door. I don't know what was bothering her, where she was getting so agitated going out the door, but I just thought, you know what? Whatever she thinks she sees, just let her see it. So we put the open bridle on her, and she was fine going out the door the last few days. I will now go, we'll probably put that closed back on her, because for training she was actually better with the closed on, and she does have a lot to offer. She's a really, really nice filly. On the track, Frolic, as Amy talked about, we had OCDs taken out her both the front ankles, but you wouldn't know it. Like, she was sound the entire time and was behaved the entire time. But they did have to come out, so we took them out. She's back jogging now. This is another tactical landing filly. These tactical landing fillies, I'll tell you one thing, they're nice. It's pretty hard to go wrong there. Mm-hmm. And this filly here, a little short fuse on her too, but man, she's got a beautiful gait. I really like the way Frolic. Have you gone with Frolic much? No. Really? She is really nice. A little warm, but really nice on the track. Gypsy Boy, you said you went with. We made some shoeing changes to Gypsy Boy the other day.
What did you do? Flip-flops off?
Yeah, we took the flip-flops off. We had to. He was beating up his hind pasterns down low, which is fine, by taking those flip-flops off and maybe squaring that toe up a little bit up front, maybe putting a longer shoe on him. The whole premise behind that is to get him not be too invasive with the shoeing, but get him to slow down a little bit behind, speed him up a little bit up front, and get him out of the way. And I believe that will work. The horse he's a big, strong colt on the track. He's a really good-looking colt. Highland Fire and Ice, again, James's only take on her right now is that she's a little lazy on the track. And I said, well, James, we had her mother. You remember the mother, Highland Top Hill. You know, I don't know if James ever drove Kismet, but you watched him race. He was very fractious, very hot. And the horse is like I don't think it's a bad thing to have this filly just a little bit chill right now. And he said, she's doing her work great. Just, loose lines, pick all the time. And I said, we both know she'll come to life. Everybody in her family has. I wouldn't worry too much about it. History Hanover. You can tell everybody about History Hanover because I think he's one of your favorites. And we, when we saw him,
he is a goof. That's why he's my favorite.
He is a goof. I think everybody had a name of Herbie on him at the sale. Like Hanover Shoe Farm's crew named him Herbie. So I think he has a soft spot in everybody that's ever taken care of him. Yeah. He's looked like his mother was one of the best mares ever. So the expectations of Herbie when he was born were high. And then they realized quite quick he was a smaller colt. And he's not a midget. He's going to be a good-sized horse. And I'm just always shocked when you end up with a horse like that in that type of situation. So I am a little surprised that we ended up getting him for what we were, because even after I inspected him, even after we looked at him, I was still more than willing to pay quite a bit more than we did for Herbie. So you can tell everybody about him on the track, because we talked about this at the start of the video a little bit, but you can talk more about how he's progressed as a horse from the day we broke him to now.
Well, I already said, but he was trying to, you had to keep him down to the inside, and we had to cover him up so that he wasn't, looking to run off the track. But he doesn't even do that anymore, and he's got a really nice gait. Like, we haven't put any boots or anything on him. So he can go a good clip without, he's not
just a nice colt.
interfering. But I mean, he's learning.
Yep.
And he learned quickly, actually. I was a little worried that he would be, Walners can be
a little hot.
Just a little, stubborn and...
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I thought when he ran off the track the first couple of times, he didn't run off, but he would look to go off. He would veer out to the outside, and he would come off if you let him. And I just thought that it was going to end up being a problem. And that's why we went to the extreme of a telescope bridle and Murphy blind and kept him down to the inside. That's why we did that right away.
I was worried we would have to castrate him very early, but I don't.
He was never going to be castrated early.
But I don't think.
He's just a nice horse, and he's going to continue to be a really nice horse for us, I believe. Holding Pattern is a filly that a homebred. Now we had the Mutt brother that we ended up selling last year. I hated that horse when we broke him. The Volstead colt.
Good name too.
Cheers for beers. Oof, I didn't like that horse. He never ever impressed me, never. And this colt, I remember Haley telling me that the filly coming behind this colt is nothing like him, and she isn't. Now she did get a little sore at the end of the summer, and I thought maybe it was like a foot bruise, but she had a cyst in her foot. We sent her over to Dr. Brown's, and he had been treating her for 4 or 5 weeks, and she's never needed it since, and she has looked very, very good. She will, just same thing that Tactical Mounds used to do, brush up on his shin and get a little out of gear once in a while, but I think that will all, but she's getting so big now. She's growing so big and does her work very, very well. If I had to cut her loose in the last turn when you guys were training with me the other day, you don't beat her at all. No one beats her. But I let her settle in the last turn, and then asked her to accelerate coming out of the turn. She'd to switch her lead. She get out of gear for a step, and 3 of them pounced on her at the wire. Actually, no, she held on for second. I thought she was 4th.
Which one was that? With the one? No.
The one came screaming by on the outside. It was either Prada Ornata or Miss K, whatever her name is. Oh. The New York filly. Yeah, one of the other ones.
She's fast.
She's very fast. And whoever won that set, I thought after a while I was 4th, but then when we watched the replay, I was actually 2nd. And I thought the filly did her work very, very well. She is a very nice filly. She's got a great attitude right now. That was another thing that Joel asked me. He said, you go with a lot of your horses with low heads or no head checks. Well, the no head checks would be if they fight with you going out the door and they don't like the head check. I'll just take it off. I'll remove that right now from your training, so that you don't have to get worked up and angry about it. But it will go back on at some point. And with low heads, I always ask that with, I came from a much older generation where, they always had their heads checked up. They always had their heads straight. They did their work right. Well, then I came up here and ended up racing against Bob McIntosh, where their hobbles were long and their heads were down between their legs all the time. And they could all go fast. And I remember, I think I was actually reading an article from Bob one time, and he said he just wanted the horses to be comfortable, and that's the way he wanted to train them, and that's that. Because I know he always got pushback from the drivers, because my brother was one of them. Hey, Bob, maybe can we pull that horse's head up a bit? No. I want it down. I want it loose. I want it comfortable. I want all the hobbles out. The hobbles were always long. One made a break on Mark one night coming out of the gate in Sarnia and jumped right out of its hobbles. Come right out of both the front loops because they were so long. But that was just how he was. And not that it certainly wouldn't be a bad thing to emulate Bob McIntosh, but I just wanted to keep our horses comfortable and happy. So none of them, for the most part. The only ones that I will put a head check like a birch bed or something in their mouth and get their head up are the ones that lay on the head check. Just kind of lay right on it and lean on it. They're the ones that will actually get something in their mouth and get their head under control, because you don't want them laying right on their head check the whole time. So other than that, for the most part, they will go with low heads, and we will break some of them sometimes with no head check. And Holding Pattern, she was acting up going out the door when we first broke her, and she was acting up on the track. She just clearly didn't like the head check, so I just took it off. But we will put it back on at some point. When they start doing the work more and they start focusing on their work, some of the other things that bothered them a lot at the start, they don't even register later on, and head checks would be one of them. So that's why we do that with some of them. Incredible. Have you gone with her yet?
No, but I've trained with her.
She is fast.
Yeah.
Very fractious, gets very warm sometimes. She wears a V martingale. She was throwing her head and leaping, but wears a low head otherwise, and she can really smoke. She is one of the fastest horses we have. Eric, I think it was Eric, just came first over and dummied us the other day. The three Father Patricks finished 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And PJ's loving. She won the set, PJ's loving, and then didn't you have the other one?
Caviar in the middle.
Yeah. You were actually second with Caviar, and the other filly was third. I thought that Incredible looked incredible, and then of course, I'll always remember it because it's the colt that I bought that was a female. was incredible. It was a lot going on, and I had her marked down as a colt, and I was looking for a Pennsylvania trotting colt, and it just seemed like an easy fit. And then it was later on that Amy so kindly put it. I forget how you put it.
I think it was your video. You wrote a video.
Yeah, I did, but then you told me after that you were going to tell me. But anyway, so incredible, very, very nice filly. Really, really nice filly. Jimmy Bo Peep, they said he was really snaky and getting out of your strike accord. Another very, very good horse. Johnny, though, I asked Johnny point blank, said, how's the Jimmy horse been? He said, Anthony horse been great. Been great. He's really learning now. He's doing his work way better. So that's good. Juju me x-rayed good the other day, which is good. This filly can really smoke also. She is fast. She is a goofball, though.
She's better with that bridle on.
She wears History Hanover's telescope bridle, not because she looks at the gate, but because she is a complete lunatic, and she looks at everything. So we just put the top. She's crazy.
I know. I went with her the one day. I looked like an idiot.
Mm-hmm. She's in and out, but she'll learn to do it right. When she has got her head squared on, or screwed on straight, man, can she ever move. Landlubber, another one James said does his work well. He's been very, very happy with Landlubber. Liked him from day one. Actually, James drove this stylish beachwear. Yeah. James drove her most of her life, he said. He said he really liked her. Lou Armstrong, I'm so happy to see this horse do well, because for those of you who have been with us long enough, you know how nice of a horse. My Jazz was a extremely inexpensive. It was like $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000, and just from day one, just seemed to impress everybody when she needed to. She always had that loafing kind of way about her, and you always just thought she was just going to be an ordinary horse. She won a gold at 2. She won a race in Delaware. She made $170,000 and was an extremely good filly for us. Spent most of her 3-year-old years sore. She had a bone bruise left hind. Then she blew her foot apart. Yeah, and then we went to breed her. We were going to race her last 5 starts. We took her over to Ontario. She was going to race in a series in Ontario. She won all 5 starts in Ontario. And then we went to breed her, and she absorbed the Kings County foal. We waited an entire year, bred her, got her in foal to Quattro de Julio. I don't know how that came about, but got her in foal to Quattro de Julio. And this colt, he can fly. He's a really, really nice colt. He's already bigger than his mom was. And he's going to be a nice colt, I think.
He's a little bugger, though. Like,
they say he's great now. He was mean when we first broke him. He'd bite and kick at people. We castrated him early. He's just a sweetheart now. Very, very nice horse. But yeah, you're right. He was a bugger. Making Green, James says, can go as fast. He said, you don't even. It's flawless and effortless. Do whatever you want with Making Green. He can go as fast as he wants. He's always the one. He said he's the top of the heap right now. He does everything perfect, which is so cool, because this is the brother to the horse that I loved, the Tactical Landing. Ready for Landing. This is his brother.
Oh, it is?
And Ready for Landing was a lunatic.
I remember that in there.
Yeah, Ready for Landing. Well, that's What the Hill's mom.
Yeah.
So Ready for Landing was a lunatic. This guy's the opposite. He's real chill and cool. James really likes him. Miss Lady May is the back of the neck we were talking about, and I'm excited because we have one of our mares in full the back of the neck. And Miss Lady May, we had bid on a number of back of the necks. They were really high. They were going for a lot of money. And I don't even know if we were close to getting one. And there was 3 left that I liked. This was the first of the 3. We ended up buying her. She's another one with an attitude going out the door, but she can fly on the track. She circled everybody the other day and was going by. I'm like, I saw her coming. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And this thing, and it was gone. And I had asked, how is she? He said, she's a little warm. He said, but man, can she fly? And she is a good-looking filly on the track. So who knows? Really, really happy with her so far. Money's tied up. You can talk about her. I've gone with her a bit, but so have you. You talk about Money's tied up.
I like her. She's I don't really know if she reminds me of her mother. She's got the international money tendencies a little bit.
Yeah.
But she's like the spookiness. That's international money.
That was her mom too.
But she's got that attitude, but it's gonna work in her favor.
Like Spooky Luke?
Who's that?
That's her uncle. That's her uncle.
No, we wanted to buy that horse.
It's
Luke
her uncle.
The Spook.
Luke the Spook.
Yeah.
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 Where do you think he got the name? Goofball, just like this one.
But anyway, no, I really like her. She's a sweetheart, and she's good on the track too.
She can really try.
Yeah.
Mordecai Hanover's a perfect sting. Yeah, a little bit lazy, long hobble. Another one we don't have a head check on. Just does her work well on the track. You know, I haven't asked her to do anything more. She hasn't let me down. Now, I haven't gone with her a lot, but everything we've asked her to do, she's done very, very well. I think she's one of these horses that's going to start to fill out her hobbles. Once she hits the end of those buckles, she's going to dance. And as I said, I've been very, very happy with her from day one. Now, Perfect instead.
I've only jogged him.
Her.
Oh, wait, sorry, I'm thinking of the other one. No, I've gone with her.
Yeah, you went with her a lot. She used to make a lot of breaks.
Yeah,
get pacey.
I'm thinking of the colt. What's his name?
Oh, what a Houdini?
No. The cheap one. Popular Expert. I always get them mixed up.
We'll talk about him in a bit.
No, I actually like her because I didn't know how I felt about Volsteads.
Yeah.
I actually like both of those fillies.
So
they're a little...
They're pacey.
Saucy.
Oh, yeah.
But...
So Perfect instead, I'll be completely upfront with everybody. She paced and got rough. We have a ton of weight on this filly up front. I don't even know where you would buy a 4-ounce toe weight anymore, but I found 2 of them in a bucket we had somewhere, and I put them on her. She has flip-flops, trotting shoes, 4-ounce toe weights, and a set of bell boots on. She is more weight than any baby. I would argue, probably more weight than any baby training anywhere in the world. Well, maybe North America. That's a lot of weight for a young horse. But she enjoys it. And I'll tell you, Spirit of Dio is the name of the horse. She used to wear a ton of weight also, and she wore it right till she was 5. Never, ever had an issue with her. And she was a good horse. And if you took that weight off her, she would pace. She would get out of... What's that? She wore a zinging tight hobble. But this filly doesn't need hobbles. She trots great. She's got a big engine in her. She doesn't seem to ever get tired. I really, really, really like Perfect instead. Of the Ohio breds, the only one I like better we'll talk about in a few minutes, but this filly here can really dance. She's a nice filly. Have you gone with her training yet?
No, I've only jogged her.
She's a very nice filly. You can tell everybody about Pilot Caviar because she's
like
one
her.
of your favorites.
Yeah,
she's
I really
a likable
like her.
horse.
She's a little crankpot, but it's actually funny. One day I want to wear the glasses.
Yeah.
Because
the broken ones or the ones in
well, when you get new ones, but she's coming around a little bit. But when she gets horses on either side of her, her ears are down so flat that she doesn't even look like she has any. But she's getting better at. Before she just tried to look at the other horses and just roll off stride and get angry because she didn't want anyone around her.
Yeah.
But now she's starting to calm down.
She's doing her work well. I liked her the other day, and I liked that she kept going down the lane.
Yeah. Because you never know with those ones. Like, I'm like, oh, are you going to be sour? But she seems like I'm going to be a little cranky, but I'll still go forward.
Yeah, well, I trained with her one day, and she had her ears pinned. I forget who I had on the inside, but whoever I had, I thought I was just kind of toying with her. And I think Eric was going with her.
No, it was the Merriman.
Right.
Yeah.
And he rode at her and chased her, and shoom, she run me down right at the wire. I was impressed. I thought she did her work really, really well. PJ's loving this. Is your favorite mare, Cherry's girl's sister?
No, she's actually nice.
She's a sweetheart.
And she's not like, I know she had her flaws last year, but I don't see.
She had her flaws. She broke someone's pelvis.
No, but you know what I mean. Like when you go out
Cherry's
training,
girl was
you're like,
mean.
oh man, like she's not gonna go. And
Cherry's girl was mean. Would not do her work. She was a sour filly last year, and by the time we got her to the races, she just turned into one of the sweetest fillies. Not at the races. By her last start of the year, the lead up to her last start, and people forget how sick she was coming into those last 2 Virginia races. But in between the 2 Virginia races, I trained her with an open happy bridle on. You could never ever do that with this filly. She just grew up so much as a young horse. It was impressive. This is her sister, half sister by Father Patrick. And again, I didn't think she was as big as Cherry's girl, but she might actually be bigger than Cherry's girl was too. She got more weight on her than Cherry did.
Yeah.
She is a big girl and loves her work. She's a nice filly, this filly. Popular Expert was one of our cheapest purchases, but aside from the other day, it was knuckling over. The horse has been great. Has been training great all along, and I don't really know what got into him the other day, but I was really impressed with what he'd done aside from the other day. All his body of work up until the other day was tremendously good, especially not even considering what we paid for him, just as a yearling training right now. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not really sure what got into him the other day, but he's been very, very good. Have you trained him yet or just jogged him?
I just jogged him.
He's a nice colt.
And everyone keeps telling me I need to train Prada Ornata.
Prada Ornata surprised me so much the other day. Now, Prada Ornata is a chimpanzee, first foal, from a full sister to Green Manalishi. This filly should have brought a ton, and for maybe a million reasons, she did not. Now, she trained great the other day. She has 2 OCDs, one in a front ankle and one in a hind ankle, and you would not know either one were there. Now, my take on it is simple. You may not see it today, but you might see it in June. And when you see it in June, it's almost too late. There's nothing you can do. You're going to miss most of, if not all, the season by taking that OCD out. Get them out now. Be done with it and not have to worry about it. And that's the spot we're at right now. Now, Prada Ornata will be one of the last horses to go with those OCDs out because she couldn't have looked any better the other day. I was so shocked. I looked over. I had the filly was just perfect instead, and she was just buggy riding. I was just sitting on her. I was letting everybody catch up, and I looked over, and Eric was airborne. He was gone. She drove over the top of everybody, like rolled past everybody on the outside and drove off. And I just thought that was the most impressive thing I'd seen from a young horse this year. To date, that was the most impressive training mile. Her and Miss Lady May. Was that her name, Miss Lady May? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her and Miss Lady May, those two finishing kicks that they had were the two best I've seen all year in any of our babies. And I just thought Prada Ornata, it really shocked me how good she looked. Dr. Rucker's horse, Rogue Titan, looked terrible in the open house. Gallop. And again, he was one of those horses. He was just slipping. And I felt bad for him. You know, he's sitting in Wisconsin or Minnesota or wherever, you're watching this horse train, and all he does is gallop. And I hadn't gone with him that much. Well, I went with him his next outing, and he was perfect. And then we trained the other day in the open house, and in the training miles, and he was fantastic. And the track was hideous the other day when he trained, and he was all business. He was out there having fun. Rose Run Chief, you've gone with, I've gone with. Bumpy gait. We're going to switch his shoes around. I wanted to make sure
I thought he was a What the Hell. He's not.
No, he's a Volstead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bumpy the other day. I want to change his shoes around. I wanted to make sure he x-rayed clean before I started tinkering with the shoes. Now that he has, we're going to tinker with the shoes. We're going to get him squared away. He's a nice colt and wants to do his work really well. We're just going to have to give him a little help over the next little bit. Probably one of the biggest surprises so far has been St. Sarah. You've not gone with her?
No.
She can absolutely...
She looks exactly like her
Exactly like her sister. Now, her sister had speed last year, but had wrinkles.
Yeah.
Over on a shaft, get out of gear, she'd make breaks. This filly has no wrinkles. No. None. And can really, really dance. I was so impressed with her the other day when she rolled up beside me with Bella Dale. And it looked like she had been cornered halfway down the lane, and then Bella just kind of hit another gear and took off a little bit. And she might have actually caught the other filly flat-footed. I thought St. Sarah looked extremely impressive the other day. She's got class. Have you gone with her yet?
No, but I'm wondering, have you?
Yeah, I have quite a bit. She's nice, but I did lose her a couple of times in the straightaways. She got an OCD in her left hind ankle. We got to pull that out. It does bother her. You could see it the other day when you watched the video. At times in her training mile, you could see where she was creeping over in the right shaft. She might put a step in, and for sure it's bothering her. But she has been training good. I've actually trained that filly in 249, if I'm going to be completely honest. And she was very, very strong. So good has not hit the pace yet. There doesn't appear to be any physical reason for her not being able to. And she paced so sweet when we broke her without hobbles on. So we did take the hobbles off her for the next couple of weeks. I don't want to deter her. I want her to get her confidence back up, and then we'll rinse and repeat. We'll put the hobbles back on her and try again. But what? Rinse and repeat? Oh my God. Yeah, we can.
You say it all the time.
Mm-hmm. So good. Don't worry about it. Listen, there's nothing holding her back. She's got a decent enough attitude. It's not her attitude. Just leave her alone. She'll hit the pace, and we'll get her squared away. It is worth noting that I'm Fancy Like couldn't pace a step until about February of her 2-year-old year, and wouldn't go any.
I was going to say, didn't she wear an open
sourest, miserable filly on planet Earth. She was the pacing version of Cherry's Girl, except she wouldn't kick. She just wouldn't go. And then by the time we got her to June, she was just the slickest, sweetest filly and could fly. So don't get too warmed up. Don't get too bogged down worrying about how they're training or looking. And I know it's frustrating. I know you want to see your horse go look great. I get that. But they're not all the same, and sometimes you just got to have a little patience. Spring Ice, funny. I'm Fancy Like's brother. He made a lot of breaks, but we ended up finding out he had an OCD in his hind ankle. We took it out.
And he was a Ridgeling.
We castrated him, took the OCD out. It's going to be clear sailing from here on in with Spring Ice. Stay Charming. I love this horse. I love everything about him. I love what he was when he came here and how quickly he adapted and what he's done since then. He's just a very, very nice horse, and I love everything about this colt. Stuntman. Have you got much with Stuntman?
I jogged him a few times, and I thought he was a little warm.
Well, he's a tactical landing. I think he's a big colt. I think his knees were bothering him a little bit.
So he was one of the ones I suggested when you wanted to move horses up here.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he is big.
And if we were to move any more babies up here, he would be the top of the list. I don't disagree with what you're saying. He got on the right line a little bit after the open house, and we just kind of backed up, blistered him, backed up. I think he's going through a growth spurt. I did actually take the flip-flops off him for a number of reasons. The first reason being, I thought he was hitting the ground really hard with the trotting shoes and the weight, and I just had no interest in putting like a full swedge and a flip-flop on a baby or an aluminum, for the love of God. I wasn't going to do that. So we just moved him to a 9/16. And this is important because if he wears the 9/16 and he regresses, then you know his feet and knees are hurting him quite a bit. It's something that you are going to have to address. And if they're not, if the horse starts training well, since we put them on him, well, then it was just a mechanical thing and we nipped it in the bud by taking the flip-flops off. We have had horses every year. We have 4 or 5 or 6 that just don't do well with the flip-flops on. I guess I'll set the table. Every one of our babies, and people ask me this all the time, all of our babies are broke with flip-flops on. If they can go with a shoe that is going to give them added support all season long, then that's what I'm going to put on them. But we do have horses that don't adapt well to the flip-flops, and we end up taking them off. And that's where we're at right now with Stuntman. Sunday Royale, James likes this, the guy we had an OCD removed from him, and he was also a Ridgeling, so another horse, but this one in Ontario, Ridgeling, and an OCD removed. Now Claudia was going to help us out with the invoice from the university, which is good. Everybody's been billed that, so that'll actually end up being a refund for all of our clients when we do that. But Sunday Royale, I saw him jog on the track the other day. The horse looks great. Really, really impressed with him. Superway, probably our best trainer to date. I was
supposed to go with him the other day, but he was sick.
He was a little bit sick. Yeah. He can fly. Nice colt, big engine, very, very strong. I like this colt a lot. I can't explain to you why he went for what he went for, but just one of those hopefully lucky stories that we can be talking about in front of a microphone next year, because he is a really, really nice horse. He's the top of the food chain. We got a lot of horses that can dance. I don't know if anybody wants any part of Superway right now. Sweet and Steady, another filly. She's made lots of breaks. Oh my God, I know how I know this filly. This is What a Mission's sister.
It is.
I'm pretty sure.
Same little head.
Turquoise Sweetie. I'm pretty sure it is. I could be wrong. We'll look it up after. But Sweet and Steady is, I'm almost positive. Sweet and Steady is just a nice filly. She's strong. She does make breaks. She does interfere a little bit, but she's going to power through it in the next couple of weeks. I've been very, very impressed with her attitude overall. Likeable filly. I loved her brother. I loved her brother. What a Mission was a sweet. He was tough. Wore a dog chain and had a dirty mouth on him for a little horse. She's not like him.
Well, she wears an ear hood.
Oh yeah, she can get a little warm. Not like him. He was completely.
I don't think he was like that in December.
He was psychotic his entire life. Crazy hot, make breaks, but he was a what the hell. He was actually the reason that we changed the way we train the what the hills. We don't talk about this very much. The what the hills were much harder on than the other horses, and it just seems like they take a little more polish than everybody else. Travel Blog, this is the Globe-Trotting colt. Really, really nice colt. I like everything about him. He did x-ray clean the other day. No, he has an OCD in his left ankle hock. I'm not sure. It'll be taken out at some point. There's no rush. He's been doing his work well, but it will come out at some point in the next month. Did you go with him yet?
Yeah.
Training?
Yeah.
Yeah? How'd you do?
He was fine. He was kind of, I think he was spinning his wheels a little bit. I think he was like the last set. We were trying to beat the track part. Yeah. So I think he stumbled a couple of times.
He's a nice colt. Vinestaff, actually, I think once we castrate him, be a nice colt. He can get a little warm.
I went with him.
He's a nice colt.
Does he not wear a head check?
He does now. We got a head check on him. We got a V martingale on him.
Okay, yeah.
He can get a little rude. He wears an ear hood. He can get a little rude. He's a little hot. But I think he'll be fine once we castrate this colt. He'll be A1. I do like him. He's got a beautiful gait. You know, Tomboy Strong, who's been training great here, by the way, Jason said, is very, very good right now. And her brother that we ended up getting rid of is a 2-year-old. They both had that long, nice, but long muscle mass, kind of loafy gait. Not this guy. He's a little more compact, and he's got a quick gait on him. I like this colt. I like his attitude. I like his gait. I like him quite a bit. Just tell her to come out and get her food if she wants it.
She doesn't know we're here.
Oh. What a Houdini. This guy, I think, just needs the hobbles on. He's got a nice gait, but once in a while he'll put a step in, probably touches himself, puts a step in and rolls off. So it's just a matter of anchoring him down. I think he'll be the first one we put the hobbles on. I think once he gets in those hobbles, he's going to really, really like them. He's a big, beautiful colt, and I truly believe once we get this colt in the hobbles, he'll be A1. What a mystery! This filly is faster than any horse we have in the barn on the trotting side. She can't. What a mystery! Have you gone with her yet?
No.
Very fast filly. I went with her the other day, and she was all business. If anything, over on the right shaft a little bit and on the left line a little bit, but she can absolutely fly. I had no idea. I hadn't gone with her since we broke her, I think, maybe one time. And I sat behind her the other day and I said, this is I did a video. I did 2 videos of her with the glasses. Just a really, really fast filly. So you haven't gone with her at all yet? No. Who let the dogs out? SGT. Now, who let the dogs out? When we got her and x-rayed her knees were kind of rough. So we'd given her a little time off. Then we're going to put her in the pool. Listen, this is a beautiful filly that's going to take... it's not that she's going to take more time to get to the track, but another horse that we're going to have to be very flexible with her training schedule and kind of tailor make her own training schedule. You're not going to see her back in the harness till the latter part of January, and at that point you're going to see probably a hybrid training, maybe a couple of days a week in the pool. She'll still have her twice a week training, but a couple of days of the week she'll be in the pool, and we'll see how that plays out. We'll probably x-ray her 2 or 3 times throughout the spring just to see how she's progressing, but we do have a clear plan moving forward for Who Let the Dogs Out. Willie Wide. If you call him with Willie, he's a nice colt. He's a bugger. I know you said he was a bugger, but he's a nice colt. We had 2 OCDs taken out of him. He's back going now. Of the Michigan horses, he's the only one fully gated and pacing perfectly now. But he does his work really good. He is a likable horse. I like Willie a lot. You said he was a bit cranky, didn't you?
Oh, I moved him. It was like the beginning of when we were breaking him.
Oh.
We had to move horses around, and he was my.
He was your first trade?
Yeah.
Oh. But he moves nice on the track. And then Woodmere Rocket, we sent some videos out, just Amy and Angie, Graham and a couple of the other partners had taken videos of the horse on their phone. We posted them to you. I might actually see if Smitty wants to get a pair of these glasses also to wear, because he has a couple of horses, right? He has the 2-year-old training back, and he has Woodmere Rocket. All things, he says, all nice things about Woodmere Rocket. So we'll see how that plays out. So those are all the babies. We didn't mark them, but we gave you a very in-depth look of every horse in our barn, both Amy and I. Who is your 2 favorite horses right now to go with? Ha ha! I say that every time, and I don't know mine.
Why do you say 2?
I don't know, just 2. 2 that really stick out. Obviously, History Hanover is one of them, so I'll give you another one.
Of mine?
Yep. Every week it's going to change a little bit. I'm going to give the ones that are most recent memory, and I'm like, wow, that horse looked very... Oh, I didn't go with either. I went with one of them, but I know the 2 I'm going to go with. So who are you going with?
History Hanover didn't train yet.
So you can't use History Hanover then?
I guess not.
So who are you using?
Cirrus.
Cirrus, okay, yep.
And who else did I do?
Actually, I'm going to use 2. Neither of them I went with. I'm going to take What a Mystery I was about to say, but I picked 2 ahead of What a Mystery. You.
Who was the one that beat me on the outside? Was it? I guess it was the Lady May horse, was it?
With who? No, Father Patrick horse beat you. You had Pilot Caviar. PJ's Lovin' was 3rd. And the other Father Patrick filly beat you. Incredible.
Oh, any of those 3.
You have to pick 2. Cirrus and who?
Come on.
Cirrus and? Cirrus and?
Cirrus and...
Cirrus and? Cirrus and?
Oh my gosh, stop.
Come on.
I don't know.
Pick a horse. Cirrus and who?
Caviar.
Caviar. Amy's 2 are Cirrus and Caviar right now, which is good.
They're the same ones every time.
No, they're not the same for me.
You know what you need to do? You need to rotate everybody.
I try to. I'm picking 2 horses that I didn't even go with the other day.
Yeah, well,
Prada Ornata and Miss Lady May.
In fairness, I was only in 3 sets out of 7.
That's
so
fine.
I didn't see all of them go.
You saw them all go later on. You looked at all the sets.
No, I didn't.
Prada Ornata and Miss Lady May are my 2. I was very enamored with What a Mission. Very happy with Perfect Instead horses. What did I say? What a Mission? Oh, what's her name? What's the Mystery? What's the Mystery? And very happy with What's the Mystery, Perfect Instead, all the horses I went with. But if I'm going to pick two that really wowed me, Miss Lady May and Prada Ornata were my two picks. So happy with the way they're going. The 2-year-olds have been going good in Ontario. We'll talk about them in a minute. But you're all caught up. That is 55 minutes of yearling video for you. Take care.